Good afternoon, everyone. Our journeys in Formula Hololive have taken us up north in the Hokkaido prefecture. We're here at Sarabatsumura for round 3 of Formula Hololive Japan. And today, since it's Saturday, we're going to be racing in Split A. And speaking of Hokkaido, the track we're going to be racing at is Tokachi Speedway. 5.1 kilometer circuit, 15 corners in total. We're looking to race for a total of 50 kilometers. And with a target lap time of 1:44.531, it may be one of the longer tracks on the schedule, but there is still a guarantee of a very good amount of action in this racing series. It's a split round, and since it's a split round today, it's Split A's turn to race here in Tokachi. And of course, it's the stream schedule and the stream start time. We may not mind about that one. Now let's talk about the more important parts of the Formula Hololive for today, the championship standings. And looking at the overall standings here, Callum Gibbens currently leads the overall standings by quite a margin here, because he leads by about 110 points ahead of Daniel Barger. And his nearest Split A opponent, he is ahead by 175 points. Just shows you how consistent he is in finishing inside the podium positions. His average finish in both races have been a 1.5. Callum Gibbons is looking very unstoppable at the moment. And if the stars align and at just the right moment, if results go his way, he will be crowned Split A champion by the end of this race. That is if he can mount points gap of 200 points or more to second place, then the Split A title is all but confirmed. Speaking of which, let's take a look also at the splits. As we want to talk about, let's look at the table on the left. Here we see Callum Gibbons leading by 175 points to Muhammad Shazren, who is currently in second. DNF in round 1, but won in round 2. Shazren, he's looking to mount a comeback. Ryu in third place for Sakamata Chloe, continuing the work that Ben Richter had done. Rem Olga continuing Heinz's work in the Ozora Sparrow car. They represent Sakamata Chloe and Ozora Sparrow respectively. Also, Arthur has dropped down the standings after finishing second in round 1. Now dropping down to 5th place for Shiranui Flair. Kaminai Reba for Omar Bolka just finished a good run yesterday, because yesterday it was the Gen 5 live, and obviously Kaminai River wanting to continue the hard work for Gen 5. He currently 6'6". Daniel Bauer 7 for Yozo Ramel. Michael Turner for Shogun No sits in 8th. John Mead 9 for Akai Hato, and Hofumi looking to mount a title charge in 10th place, representing Tokino Sora. Kaczynski in 11 for Yuzuki Choko, Crystal Salman for ASCII in 12, Kurwisha in 13th for Takane Louis, Mikolev for Sakaramiko is currently in 14th. You can look at the points at the right. Griffin Wheatley in 15th place for Kazama Iroha, Sarikaimo 16 for Lapless Darkness. Zeke Wimberley have replaced Andrew Rakimbayev in the Okami Mio car in Split B, and a Sergio Koyori car is now open for Fabio Mendes to continue Zeke Wimberley's work in the Koyori car, currently 17th in the standings, at least in the splits. And Makoto Miyamoto is the only driver in Split A to have not scored points just yet. Will third time be lucky for Makoto Miyamoto coming into qualifying? That is a question that we are currently asking right now. Anyways, I want to welcome everyone to the stream. I'm Muhammad Shazren in the commentary booth, and I am literally the only one in the commentary booth, which is a bit of a shame, but we have to press on to whatever we have at the moment. So we are finally going to be able to start this qualifying session. First few cars are out on track. We just wanted to wait until we have the proper adjustments to our timing table and see if there is a bit of an issue. No problems. So let's get into the nitty-gritty bits. Here is the qualifying session on board Momashun Reza and representing Himimori Luna in car number 31. Fun Hololive fact: Luna has yet to appear in bright uniform since the 4 festival, and it will be very likely that in the birthday stream where Luna is confirmed to participate. Of course, she's the birthday girl at that date on October 10th. she will be running bright uniforms, like the bright uniform that the car's livery is based on. Anyways, let's scroll back into another few cars. Let's look at Makoto Miyamoto. She hasn't had the brightest start in Formula Hololive up to this point. Obviously one of two drivers who have yet to score a point in Formula Hololive after 2 rounds in both Fuji and Autopolis. Just wanted to check on a few onboard as well to see who else is out there. We have a few guys who are about to start their laps here, but we're gonna go a bit further back. Let's look at Rim Olgor. Let's go on board with the South African. Let's go on board Rim Olgor, representing Ozarasborough, for a lap here at Tokachi Speedway. As you can see here, exiting the chicane. Try to get the fastest exit possible here out of the final corner. And then you have this very, very long straight. You can really set up an overtaking opportunity when the time is right. You can see a 6th gear, really stretching the car out. Hit the curb over on the left for turn 1. 4th gear, pretty fast corner here. And then into turn 2. And heading into turn 3 here, still holding it in 4th gear. It just shows you how much of a high speed of a circuit this one is. You can downshift to 3rd for Terrace corner. For Acom to Terrace, and then into south top corner. Don't went on downshift to 4th gear once again, and into SG corner, and into Paddock Bend. Again, now this one a pretty slow corner, so you might want to downshift down to 2nd gear, get the best exit out of the back straight here, coming into the hairpin curve. Having pretty decent pace there, this Ozarasborough car, coming into the hairpin curve. Now you can hold on to 2nd there. You can get a good amount of speed still. Coming to Twins corner, a pretty long right-hander for a 3rd-degree right-hand corner. Coming into West End corner, you can hold on to 5th gear. You can really carry a lot of speed in here. And into Victory corner, downshift to 4th gear to get the rotation in. And into the penultimate corner and into the final corner, hold on to 3rd gear and try to get as much speed as possible. It has to lift off just a bit just to maintain track limits. And that is a lap here in Tokachi Speedway. Rim Olgor scratched that 144 lap time expectations. It's now actually a 137. And looking at this one, Kaminari Reba continues to show up in Formula Hololive with a 3/100th of a lap time slower than scratch that, 2/10 of a lap time slower than Isekaiji Mikolev. Mikolev currently setting the provisional pole time 1:37.564. More drivers setting their lap times here. Tristal Salomon wanting to punch his ticket inside the top 4. He does. He's currently qualified 4th. Now here's something a bit uncharacteristic here. Callum Gibbons. He has been very pacey in these first 2 races. Could this be the moment where the performance starts to reel in for Gibbons? Let's just wait and see. As you can see here, Gruffin Wheelie currently puts his car inside the top 10. He is going to make a bid for the points here finally for the young Welsh driver. Suri Kayamov shows up in the lap of darkness. Cars bumps Salomon down to 5th place. Shazren Reza improves his lap time, goes up to 9th place. Fabian Mendes in his first Formula Hololive qualifying session places him in 15. Kaminari Reba places himself in the front row. It's a hectic qualifying session here after 5 minutes of qualifying. Kaminari Reba bumps Kaczynski down to 3rd place. Reba's now up inside the front row, just alongside Mikolev in the pole. That would mean that all 18 cars have set the provisional times, with Callum Gibbons surprisingly the slowest out of the bunch. We did mention that if everything goes to plan for Gibbons, he will be able to seal the Split A championship here in Tokachi. As it stands, with the finishing order that we have at the moment, the title fight will continue down to the wire at Sepang next month. Salaman continues a very decent qualifying run to place his car in 5th place. Just looking into the times here, Callum Gibbons finally shows up once again, puts his car on the final points positions here if it's the race. Currently qualifying 15th with a second slower lap time than Mikolev here. Michael Turner again has a better lap time, gets up to 10th. Wheatley improves his lap time to go up to 11th place, bumps Fumi down. There's gonna be a good chance a lot of drivers are gonna steal a lot of points. Kayumov currently in 4th place. Again, with a very good lap time. His helmet down to 6th place. Fabio Mendes shows up once again for Hakui Koiri in his Formula Hololive debut. Up to 11th place. He's really showing up there for this Paraguayan driver. Coming into the halfway mark of this qualifying session here. It's a bit solitary here. It's a bit no changes here except for Miyamoto, who have improved her lap time. She's improved her lap time to bump Olgor down to last place. Miyamoto is now the second last driver. She needs to still improve there. Her quest to be inside the points still continues. And just a quick reminder, Gibbons is now back down to 16th, which is outside the points here. Kayumov and Salaman trade blows. Salaman trade blows once again. Now puts Bauer down to 6th place. And Callum Gibbons shows up finally. A 9th fastest lap time for him. Puts him ahead of Shazren in 10th place. That's actually very crucial because in the race, there's going to be a lot of switching of positions. And speaking of switching of positions, Wheatley bumps out to 12th place, bumps Mendes down to 13th. Gibbons at this rate, Kayumov puts her car inside the provisional front row spots. Liu goes out to 7th place. Shazren responds once again with a 9th place, a qualifying spot with Mendes as well. There's still a lot of shuffling in positions here in this qualifying session. There's still a lot of life left in this time trials here, and currently Isakaiji Mikolev is the one that is showing up in the time charts. 137.493 for the Eastern European driver. Robert Karisha goes up to 6th place, 137.808 for him. Puts Bauer down to 7th place, and that makes 2 Polish drivers inside the 3rd row of the grid for the Split A race. Krzysztof Salaman improves once again for ASCII. Currently up to 3rd place, only 2 tenths behind Isakaiji Mikolev. Salaman is on a roll, and the track is ramping up. Olgor bumps Haruto down to 17th place. Callum Gibbons again responds with another lap time. He's still slower than Shazren by only 200ths of a second. The race is on, and right now it's going to the way of Callum Gibbons. But at this point, he's still going to be in the championship lead heading into the final Split A race at Sepang for Formula Hololive. But alas, he still has some work to do to seal the deal in next month. Liu improves over 37.8, and Fabio Mendes goes up to 9th place. Again, the Paraguayan shows up in Formula Hololive here, really showing his skills in racing. Anyways, let's talk about Krzysztof Salaman once again. Oh, I've been wanting to do this all day long. Now, he represents ASCII, and before that, Miyamoto goes up to 12th place with a surprise lap time to put herself inside the points. Salaman, representing ASCII, who have had her third change of design to showcase her 4th iteration of herself. This is illustrated by Scotty. And it has been a pretty nice sight to see ASCII, first of all, having a new design, and also with this new design, a newfound skill in gaming and GeoGuessr. Now ASCII has this amazing ability to have accurate pinpoint accuracy when it comes to geography, even better if it's Japanese geography. And when we want to talk about accuracy in something, Crystal Salaman has accuracy in nailing these corners and maintaining the highest minimum speed possible. And so Crystal Salaman, wanting to show the ASCII car's capabilities on this racetrack, he's currently placing himself in 3rd place. So good job for the Polish driver. What can I say? It's a pretty bratty front row on the grid right now of Isekai Jimikolev and Sergei Kayumov in the front spots, 1st and 2nd. Kaminari Riba, who have seen Omaru Polka perform live in the Tokyo Dome for the Twinkle for You concert, also shows up once again here in Formula Hololive, wanting to give Omaru Polka something to smile about. Here's Kaminari Riba trying to nail a lap here in Tokachi. Coming into the 1st sector timing beam, and right now he's currently 2/10 slower, so he is actually not improving. Riba putting that car onto that racetrack with purpose, onto the back straight here, coming into the hairpin. 1 second between slowest and fastest guys. I tell you what, this is going to be a very competitive session in qualifying, and if this is the gas we have in qualifying, the race is going to be very exciting. Riba currently barreling down the back, another one of those back straights here, coming into the final sector and heading into victory corner. You can see here 6/10 down after 2 sectors, so not doing a lot of work here at the moment. Coming into the final 2 corners here, Riba with the exit of the final corner here, carry a lot of speed here, coming in Riba for Omaru Polka. Will the Polka car show up? Not yet. 8/10 off for Riba, but I think that's just down to worn out tires. A lot of drivers are still outside. Here's Raja Kaczynski. Let's see if he can improve his lap time. The answer is no. 9/10 off of the fastest time. Mikolev is still holding the aces here for Sakura Miko. And if you're watching this live stream here, just wanted to tell you that we are currently less than 30. Okay, now we're less than 30 seconds from the end of this qualifying session here. And as it stands, there's not going to be much of a change here. Mikolev and Kayumov still showing up. Salaman in 3rd place, Riba 4th, Kaczynski 5th. Kurwisha is currently in 6th place. Bauer and Liu are looking to be in row 4 coming into this race. Shazren has the slight ace above Gibbens, 2 spots ahead and 1 row ahead of Gibbens. And obviously Shazren has to share his grid spot with Mendes, who's currently in 10th place as well. Gibbons and Miyamoto currently occupy 11th and 12th. Orgar and Turner in 13th and 14th. Wheatley and Fumi currently in 15th and 16th. John Mead and Wawazuato round up the final row on the grid, row 9 in 17th and 18th respectively. And here are the final cars out on coming into the finish line here, because there's Kaczynski, Kurwisha, Ryu, Fumi, and Sergei Kayumov. No improvements on any other car so far, so we'll keep you updated if there's any changes here. We're just going to get to intermission. Okay, we're just going to get to intermission here to confirm to you that we are ending this session. And there we go. That's the end of the qualifying session. with Tokachi Mikolev, your pole sitter. And that's it for this qualifying session here at Tokachi. We have a pole sitter here that should catch someone by surprise, but to us it's not really by surprise. And that is Tokachi Mikolev with a 137.493 for Sakura Miko. He has done very well to put the Sakura Miko car on the spotlight. The Miko players have got to be very excited about this one. Suri Kaimov in second place for Laplace Darkness. Representing Laplace Darkness. Currently in the front row of the grid, best ever qualifying spot for the Uzbekistani driver. Salman shows up for ASCII once again, putting that car inside the first part of the second row alongside Kaminari Reba in the Omar Bolka car, currently in fourth. In fifth place, Raji Kaczynski, 137.756 for Yuzuki Choko, lines up with Robert Kurwisha in sixth place, representing Takani Loi. Daniel Bauer and Ri Liu, both cars ending with the number 6, representing Yuzo Ramel and Sakamata Koi, respectively, in 7th and 8th. Shazren Reza is going to do all the best he can to try to have the best possible position from his position, relatively. Coming into the final race as a Pang, representing him in Mori Luna. Fabio Mendes for Hakui Koiri inside the fifth row of the grid. Cal Gibbens can secure the championship if he can score 25 more points than Shazren Reza. And that's easier said than done for the Australian driver. He starts 11, representing Roboco. Makoto Miyamoto will look to open up the points tally for her season, representing Watsunamaki Watame. From Olga Michael Turner, representing Ozo Subaru and Shiraga respectively, will start 13th and 14th. And in the final points position at the moment, Griffin Wheatley in 15th place for Kazamara Iroha. And Hofumi, for the first one out of the points, 2022 Hololive GT3 Japan Series champion, starts 16th for Tokinosora. John Mead for Hachama will start 18th, 17th for Akai Hato, while Sato for Sharanogi Flair is going to be the last guy out on the grid. So a bit of an intermission here before we start here. I'm pretty much excited to see how this race unfolds. Just wanted to get to the starting grid here to see how it goes. Anyways, let's get this race underway. It's gonna be a few red lights gonna be lining up at Tokachi. We have Isekaiji Mikolev on pole position with Sari Karimov alongside him. It's gonna be a fascinating race coming into the 50 laps here in the Tokachi Superprix, and it's go! I really can't tell who is actually leading here, and it looks like Mikolev manages to consolidate his race lead. Kaimov still holds on to second place here. Salman trying to defend third place here, but has the inside locked in by Kaminari Reba. There is a few bits of position shifting at the moment. Right now, everyone is looking to survive the first few corners here. Riba and Salman going side by side still. Riba has the inside line, but is going to switch to the outside line. I think that they are no longer side by side, and actually Salman actually managed to beat Riba onto the first sector, and that leaves us with Mikolev leading this race, Kaimov in second, Salman third, Riba is in fourth, Kaczynski fifth, Bauer sixth, Kurwisha is in seventh, Wheatley in eighth place. Shazren Reza holding on to 9th place at the moment, and Fabio Mendes rounding out the top 10. It's a very competitive race at the moment here, except when you're at the front here right now. Mikolev almost building a second gap to Kaimov. Kaimov trying her absolute best to catch Mikolev at the moment for Laplace Darkness and her plus mates. But right now, Kaimov isn't finding that pace that she is looking for. Salman is hot on the heels of the number 39 car. Lap 2 of this race, and right now Kaimov trying to chase Mikolev, but right now it's not forthcoming. Daniel Bauer also trying to have his stamp onto the rest of the field. And right now the battle is heating up in the back of the grid here. Right now, really trying to catch Fumi there. Rimolgor in 14th place. Right now it's not looking good. But right now the race is not won on just 3 laps. We have a 50 lap race ahead of us and we still got a long way to go. And right now Mikolev still edging ahead of Kayumov, who is still struggling to catch Crystal Salaman. Now, people are gonna ask me about the odds of the Sakura Miko car winning this race, as the Miko car have actually gone winless in the 2022 Hololive GT3 Japan Series. Now, in the history of Formula Hololive, in Hololive GT3, but meanwhile, let's talk about Wheatley and Olgo going for that side-by-side battle here. On board with Michael Turner in that Shogun in 08 car. As you can see here, there, both of them going side-by-side there. Wheatley actually spooked Olgo just a bit so that Wheatley can steal 14th place. So another swapping up position here with Mikolev sending a fastest lap of a 1:37.780. That makes it nearly 2/10 faster than Sergei Kayumov that last lap. So Mikolev really showing up in this race. Michael Turner side by side with Rem Olgo once again. It's not looking good for Olgo at the moment. The young South African driver is losing pace to Turner. Losing 2 positions there in the span of a few corners here. That bumps Olgo down to 16th place. And right now Salaman is catching Kayumov here. Kayumov is really not catching Mikolev as it stands, but if she is catching Mikolev, it's only by a slight margin. And right now Salaman's on the heels. Shazren still trying to find a way past Ray Liu here, wanting to close the gap as much as possible to Callum Gibbens here so that he has the best shot of winning the Split A championship coming into the final race at Sepang. Well, the final split season race at Sepang. There's still 4 more knockout rounds to go after that. Sergei Kayumov now having the aces here with the fastest lap of this race, 1:37.481, catching Mikolev by nearly 2/10 of a second here. The race is on finally, and Salaman just wanting to keep tabs of the 2 drivers in front. And if you are watching the stream, just tuning in, welcome on board to the stream. I hope you guys are enjoying this racing product that we have at the moment. Please leave a like on the stream and drop a subscribe to see more of these racing content, the Hololive team racing content here. And as you can see here, more shuffling up position here between Fumi and Gruffin Wheatley here. Fumi now trying to defend for as much as he can at the moment, and right now he's doing the best he can. He's currently in 13th place. Oh, back onto the stream here. Apologies here because we're right now looking at Fumi here, looking at the gaps here. Now expanded to 4.1 seconds, losing touch of Makoto Miyamoto. But obviously, Fumi might have something to his advantage that he might be able to use later on. Kurusha does not improve on his previous lap time. Ryu and Shazren are slowly catching. And right now, it's a single file train here in Tokachi. And we have confirmation that Kayumov have also closed down the gap. It was 1.2 seconds, now dropped down to 1 second flat. Kayumov trying to catch Mikolev in the Sakura Miko car. Another battle between the Wheatley and Fumi cars. A battle between Tokunosora and Kazama Iroha coming into Terrace bend. It's going to be pretty tight between these two. And Fumi manages to defend, but meanwhile, there might be another battle brewing here coming into Paddock Bend, as they're currently at SG corner. Nothing crazy at the moment, with Wheatley currently in control. Salman catching into West End and Victory there, heading into the back of Kayumov. Kayumov have lost some pace relative to Mikolev, and now Salman is hot on the heel. Salman needs a very good exit off of the final two corners as they are currently at the moment. And scratch that, Salman is going to be the first one coming into the pits, but will it be imaginative enough, or is he pitting way too early? Well, we have to wait and see. First driver serving their pit stop here is Crystal Salman and also Callan Gibbons. Remember, Callan Gibbons have been stuck behind Fabio Mendes for a while. He's going to try an overcut strategy here to get ahead of Shazren. And meanwhile, there's a battle between the other two drivers here. I think that's Fumi and Wheatley once again. And as you can see here, between the differences of their aero, you can see here Wheatley actually has a thinner rear wing. So he'll have more top speed, but he'll have less downforce. So less speed in the corners, but more speed on the straightaways. Meanwhile, Fumi has the exact opposite. So more speed on the corners, but less speed on the straightaways. Actually, let's see if I got that right. Anyways, Fumi manages to defend after he manages to have better cornering speed. Fumi having a high downforce setup. More downforce means more grip into the corners, but at the expense of a straight line, and vice versa. And right now Wheatley is currently having that low downforce setup, and right now Wheatley has that pace on that main straight, but right now he just couldn't able to get the pass complete. Let us know in the comments below, onto the chat box below, of your thoughts of this race so far. Would like to hear your opinions, and I'll try to answer as many of them as possible as this race progresses. And there's another battle here right now with Ri Liu and Shazren Reza. You can see here Roboco, another driver, coming into the pit lane to serve his first pit stop. Hopefully it's not the wrong call. Miyamoto will now try to pit once again. I'll try to pit as well as Olgor, Suharto, and me. Right now, the pit window is currently alive and well, and pretty much open. Salman and Gibbons clearing them very, very comfortably. This is where we can start to see a definitive lap time estimation for Salman and Gibbons relative to the guys up front. Shazren is currently up to 7th place at the moment, and if I'm not mistaken, it actually gives him 72 points, so he's able to basically shrink down the gap down to 100 points coming into the final race at final split season's race at Sepang. And so Shazren is looking very comfortable here, but will it be enough? We'll have to wait and see. Let's see if there will be any more drivers coming into the pit lane, and we have confirmation that Mikolev is going to try to cover Crystal Salman here, because Salman is actually blitzing away, but will it be enough? Right now, Crystal Salman is currently at Victory Corner, coming into the final two corners. Salman. Let's see, Mikolev is currently having a move at the moment. Right now, Mikolev is still stationary. We also have confirmation that Mendes, Wheatley, and Turner have also pitted. Mikolev have time to pit stop to almost to perfection here. Here's Crystal Salman coming into the main straight. Here's the battle for the lead. Mikolev manages to hang on. A crucial moment for Mikolev to have that extra tire life and still be in that net race lead. Now it's now in Suri Kayamov's hands to see if she pits in this lap or not. But you can see here the gap between Salman and Mikhailov have closed, so the undercut strategy have actually worked very well for Salman, because Salman might just be able to steal the position away from Kayumov. And apologies to the Japanese fans out there. I'm trying my best to find a Japanese commentator, but there just isn't any. If there is any, please tell me. I'm gonna translate this to Japanese once we have confirmation that we have Japanese people in the chat room. 日本日記の皆さん、コメントをください。So I wanted to hear the comments, so that's that. Griffin Wheatley coming into the pits once again, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, I think there is a bit of a no. This is actually still his first pit stop. So we have more drivers coming into the pits here. Wheatley just being one of them. Reba, Kaczynski, Kayumov, Bauer, and Leo coming into the pits once again. Shazren has actually tried the overcut strategy once, and it worked to perfection for him. Let's see if it works for him once again here in Tokachi. We have confirmation. All drivers except Shazren and Fumi already serving their pit stops. And right now, the battle is on between these two drivers here. Ryu still inside the pit lane here. It's actually a pretty long pit lane. I think this is actually his one and only pit stop, unless he has an issue with the car. And right now, he's looking to be quite stationary. But looking at Griffin Wheatley, who also had a very long pit stop, he is still in this race. So we're gonna have to pay attention to Ryu's advances coming into this. And right now, Wheatley is actually blocking Shazren Reza. If you want to know when lap times are gonna play a part in this race, this is when lap cars play a part. And actually, we also want to mention to you that there's a lot of wear on that front right of the car. It's actually putting a lot of stress onto the front right of the car. We have confirmation that Ryu have exited the pit lane. He will not pit for the remainder of this race. And now Shazren Reza coming into the main straight, using the also sweet slipstream coming into turn one. Shazren Reza with an extremely bruised right front tire trying to clear Griffin Wheatley, and he now places Wheatley a lap down. Great job there for Shazren Reza to try to hang on to his race lead at the moment. Obviously trying to go for the Himomari Luna cars, a second consecutive win. Fumi finally coming into pit. It looks like Fumi is going to have a pretty long service stop coming into this session. We have confirmation Fumi, Liu, Wheatley, and Shazren Reza will be pitting will be on that one-stop strategy. And seeing how Shazren Reza has done it, they might be on course to steal a lot of positions away. But of course, it's still tentative to everyone else. Let's see if they're going to make their pit stops or not. Just gonna take a short break here. We're gonna go back into this race on lap 11 of this race. So hopefully everyone here is still tuning into this race as we're about to take a short break now. Fumi had that long stop there. Just a change of mind there. Here's lap 11, and right now we have a call. The Shazren that might be coming into the pits in the next 5 laps or so. His fuel is actually running low just a bit, but let's see how much longer can Shazren Reza hold on. Kayumov has actually closed down the gap to Shazren Reza there. It was about 22 seconds, now down to 21. Reba and Salaman. And actually, Salman pitting for the second time in this race. We have 14 drivers who have made the wrong call to pit very early in this race. And right now, they're going to have to make their second pit stop. And let's see if this is going to hurt their strategy as much as they wouldn't want it to happen. Shazren's pit stop fuel levels are getting lower and lower by the second, and right now he is tempted to go into the pits, but he's currently having to wait until the strategy allows him to do so. Currently, we have Kayumov actually overcutting, or was that undercutting? Now it's actually undercutting Isekai Mikala, because right now Kayumov is in the net race lead unless Shazren has a very good pit stop. So Kayumov is currently this net race lead. Mikalev may be second or third depending on where Salaman ends up. Salaman is still stationary inside the car. There's actually a very long pit stop there. Salaman is still outside there and is now overtaken by Fumi and Ri Liu. Talk about a big loss there for the Polish driver. There's a big gulf in the gap between 13th and 14th between the drivers who have properly completed their fuel stops and those who have yet to complete their fuel stops. And you can see here on the right side of the car, there is a lot of wear. You can see here, there's a central line forming on that tire that's blistering. So there's a lot of temperature onto these tires, and right now, it's not looking good for the performance of these cars when they're at that state. And right now you can see that the rear lefts are also starting to really show its age. And as it stands, there is still soldiering on in this race here, wanting to try to hang on to the lead at the moment. But fortunately for him, the gap between Kayumov and himself is still 21 seconds. You can see here, Olga and Suharto have made the pass on. Suharto. Olga's now up to 11th place. And actually, scratch that, Kayumov have actually lost a bit of time against Shazren Reza, who have currently set his personal best lap time. He's looking to win 2 in a row here in Tokachi and to place himself in championship contention for the Split A title. At least in Formula Hololive, of course. And right now, he has one driver in front, and that is Hofumi. Remember, Hofumi have won the 2022 Japan Series title, at least in Hololive GT3, against Mama Shazren Reza. So Shazren Reza might have some reason to attack Fumi, but Fumi also have many reasons to attack, to start to defend against Shazren Reza. Also, this may be also for the betterment for Callum Gibbens, because Gibbens is currently back down in 18th place after a very slow pit stop. He is currently on damage control as it stands, so he wants to try to lose as little points as possible, so that he will have the best opportunity to try to win the Split A title at Sepang. Mead, Olgor, Suharto, Miyamoto, and Croatia all are currently inside the pit lane, going for that second pit stop after they pitted way too early on their first stop before the lap 10 mark. And right now, Shazren Reza is very inclined to come into the pits here. You can see he's inside the inside line. Shazren Reza finally coming into the pits. He'll surrender the race lead to Sergei Kayumov, but Sergei Kayumov might just have to pit again for a reason we can talk about here. Right now, the closest battle that Shazren Reza is currently having at the moment is between himself and Ri Liu. Ri Liu is currently way back at Sector 2. Coming into basically the south top corner and heading into SG corner and paddock bend. So Shazren has a lot of time against Ri Liu, but let's be fair, that's not the guy that he's actually going to fight for. The guy that he's actually fighting for is actually Sergei Kayumov, Isekai Mikolev, and Crystal Salaman. Shazren Reza is still stationary inside the pit lane. Ri Liu is currently in the hairpin and into twins Really still has 4 corners on the main straight left to try to catch Shazren Reza, and right now Shazren Reza have actually managed to exit with a healthy gap against Liu. Talk about gaining a lot of time on that overcut strategy. His overcut strategy is doing wonders for him once again. And right now Shazren Reza currently in control of his race. Let's see if he can steal a few more positions. Gibbens currently inside the final points paying positions here. He would need at least 10th place for him to stay level to stay ahead of Shazren Reza, assuming he wins this race coming into the final race of Sepang. Shazren Reza racing his car with purpose, and right now we have confirmation that Mykolaiv have also coming into this pit lane as well. Pole sitter and has led a few laps already. Let's see how much time Mykolaiv is going to lose. Shazren Reza is actually very good there. It's actually way better than where Liu was. Liu was at Terrace and South Top, and now Shazren Reza is currently at West End, coming into Victory Corner. And also Michael Turner pitting as well. But it's also depending on how much time Mykolaiv is spending time inside the pit lane. Into the final 2 corners, Shazren Reza goes. With those fresh tires at the moment, he's looking to attack Mykolaiv with all his might. And right now, Shazren Reza overtakes Mykolaiv with ease and is looking very fine to take this net race lead. Another overcut strategy done to perfection by Shazren Reza. Really wanting to win a lot of races for Himimori Luna, and for all the Lunites watching, he really wants that win, and he really wants to be in contention for the Split A Championship. Mykolaiv has now exited the pit lanes 25 seconds behind. It just shows you the devastating effects of having to pit twice. We still have a few drivers who have yet to pit their second stop. As it stands, Kayumov, Riba, Kaczynski, Bauer, and Mendes. Salomon, who was inside the top 3, is looking to be in a net 6th place after spending too much time inside the pit lane. Liu again gets into the conversation in Formula Hololive battles once again. Really wanting to show some stamping authority on Mykolaiv here. Liu and Mykolaiv already have warmed up tires, but Liu having worse tires means that Mykolaiv might have an easier defense coming into this. Mendes having a stationary car at the moment, still waiting for the car to be fully serviced here. Mykolaiv pulling away just a bit from Liu, but will it be enough? I think so. And here's Fabio Mendes exiting the pit lane. Fumi is going to be very comfortable in stealing 8th place, but it might be close. Actually, it's not. Fumi steals 8th place from Mendes. His title hopes may be slowly coming may start to come undone. But right now, Fumi's going to try his absolute best to get himself back in this. But will it be enough for Fumi? We'll have to wait and see here. We still have 33 laps of racing here in Tokachi to go. Shazren Reza is actually, I think, slightly faster than Daniel Bauer. Actually, Not really, because his last lap was a 142.65. Then Bao's lap times was a 139, 137. But remember, they're at low fuel loss, and I'll have to pit once again. So the guys from first to fourth need to pit once again. So that's going to be a worrying trend for those 4 drivers for Mohammed and Reza. He doesn't need to care about that too much because he probably knows that Lee might be reconsolidated. Apologies here if we're stuck inside the starting grid image. Apologies here for having to be stuck inside this pan-in image. Now we're back into the actual layout here. Vehicle level 140.098, really 146.09. You can see here, Ripa really trying to maintain pressure for Kaczynski, but right now both of them are going to pit at the same time. So Reza is currently into the hairpin section here onto the first back straight, and right now Shazren Reza, if the trends are anything to go by, Shazren is going to be able to overtake these drivers with ease. And also we have confirmation that Kaczynski have also pitted again, and we have confirmation that the last 4 drivers who have pitted early are going to have to are pitting for a second time. Shazren Reza is currently in West End corner, coming into victory. All hands on deck for Shazren Reza to steal the race lead away from Bauer, Kaczynski, Ryba, and Kayumov. I believe Ryba and Kayumov are still stationary at their pit boxes. Their fuel haven't been fully filled just yet. Shazren Reza coming into the main straight. I think he might remain unchallenged coming into this lap, and we have confirmation. Shazren Reza aces the strategy once again to steal the race lead away from both Sergei Kayumov, Tokachi Mikolev, and Christoph Salomon. Salomon was right in qualifying. He was inside the first 2 rows, but now with a bot strategy call, he's now dropped down to 11th place. And right now the battle for the top 3 spots are currently as follows. Shazren Reza with Sergei Kayumov and Kaminari Ryba in your top 3. Kaminari Ryba having some pretty decent finishes here. Have never finished inside the podium in Formula Hololive. Neither does Sergei Kayumov just yet. Let's see if this race is going to be different. Kaczynski and Mikolev catching inside the top 5 for that podium positions as well. And with all drivers serving their pit stops here, I don't think there will be any more pit stop activities unless there is a crash or an accident. That some cars might be teleported back into the pits. So right now the gap between Shazren Reza and Sergei Kayumov are at 11 seconds. John Meade is currently at Terrace Corner, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, he's at Terrace Corner at the moment, coming into soft top here for the back markers. Shazren Reza is currently at turn 1. So Shazren Reza currently having a very healthy gap between himself and the lap cars, so he might be able to pull away just a bit more. Gaps have not closed down for some drivers, but some have been pretty close. Miyamoto is looking to open up her point scoring tally in 14th place. Gibbens is currently in 15th. Inside the final points positions, and as it stands, Shazren Reza will steal the championship lead and have a gap of over 24 points ahead of Callum Gibbons. Fumi's also doing a very good job there, currently up in 8th place. So let's take a look into the progress chart here. Fumi gaining 8 spots, started 16th, now up to 8th. really wanting that race pace and a downforce heavy car, and acing that one-stop strategy to steal a lot of positions. As the Shazren, but to a greater effect, he started 9th, he's now inside the race lead. Ricky Rudd brings the car once down in the S. This will be the final time this after entering turn number 11. Sorry to burst your bubble for one of the guys inside the chat box, but that's not happening. It didn't happen in 1990 in the NASCAR Cup Series at Sonoma. It probably won't be happening in this race either, because right now we wanted to back to the topic of this race. Sergei Kayumov currently in 10th place, in 2nd place, actually is catching Shazren. There was Uzbek driver trying to catch Shazren unaware there with a slow gaining on that lap time. If Shazren is gonna get caught inside lap cars, that's gonna pose problems for him if he isn't able to clear the lap cars in time. And right now he has 3 lap cars that he might need to clear, and that's going to be an issue for the leader if he wants to have the best possible position coming into the final race at Sepang. Well, the final split season race at Sepang. Oh, there's a position change between Suharto and Allgor here. You can see here Allgor side by side with Suharto having the inside line. That's Suharto into turn 3. And right now we have John Meade in the thick of things. Allgor having the inside line for turn 4 into 8 corner and into Terrace corner turn 5. And that's gonna shuffle Suharto back with a good defense there from Allgor. Manages to hang on to 16th place. Okay, it's the silver spoon position, but it's a position, and you have bragging rights to fight for, so. Kayumov is slowly catching Shazren, but slowly but surely. Can she win her first race for Laplace Darkness? Well, can she win it for the Plus mates? We still have less than 30 laps to go here. That's what I thought. It didn't happen. Some guy in the chat told me about the finish of the 1990 Banquet Frozen Foods 300, which the race didn't properly accrue to Ricky Rudd after. Okay, let's share with the viewers a bit of context of what happened in that race in 1990. It was the last lap. Ricky Rudd was leading on the final lap, and into the final corner, there was Davey Allison behind, who actually bumped Ricky Rudd out of the way, shoved him out wide for Davey Allison to steal the win away from Ricky Rudd. Again, more position changes for Suharto and Allgor. This time racing is cleaner than what happened in 1990 on that final lap at Sonoma. Suharto still has the inside line. Allgor might have the outside line, but he might just be able to find an opening on the inside, as Suharto is still forced to be on the outside line, but not anymore. Suharto just has enough pace to edge ahead of Wawan's Rim Allgor for him to steal 16th place. Okay, back into the 1990 Sonoma Cup Series race. So we have Davey Allison shoving Ricky Rudd out of the way. Ricky Rudd did not get a win. Davey Allison got the win. Ricky Rudd thinks this is unfair and tries to ask NASCAR officials if this is okay or not, and apparently NASCAR says it's okay because apparently Davey Allison was one of those popular drivers, and NASCAR rigging races for popular drivers getting wins have been a thing in the past. Penalties yet in this race, so no crashes yet, no misdemeanors in this race. So obviously everyone's having a clean race at the moment, so no penalties as of late. We'll keep you guys updated if there is any sporting issues that we want to talk about, but right now everything remains clean. The last time an ARO driver has received penalties, that was back in Hololive GT3 in May, when a driver basically punted a championship contender out of the race on the final race of the season. That's the Hololive GT3 International Series, and that and that offending driver actually got a penalty. And speaking of drivers, it's now bad, turning into worse for Rim Allgore in and you can see from bad to worse for Allgore. It's now John Mead still 17th place. Well, this is Formula Hololive and it's a F1 style car. These are the Super Formula cars that we are racing here at the moment. Again, if you enjoyed the stream, please leave a like on this stream. Subscribe to this channel if you want to see more of this Formula Hololive and Hololive GT3 races. Hololive GT3 racing next week at Motegi. We'll keep you guys updated on the Adak-RMS Twitter account. And there's a notification bell so that you don't miss any streams coming into, the races. So yeah, the gap between Shazren and Sergei Kayumov have stabilized just a bit. Allgore is still looking very pacey there at the back. This means Shazren is not going to have to face lap cars anytime, well, sooner or later, at least in the next 10 to 15 laps. So we're just going to take a back seat. We're going to take another short break here, and we're going to take a short break. Well, by the start of lap 25, we're going to go back into the commentary, and we're going to update you all in case anything has changed. Back at Tokachi Speedway here, but we're just gonna need to get back earlier. We just couldn't get the satisfaction of not wanting to commentate. Anyways, we're back in the Tokachi Superprix. We're here at the Hokkaido part of Japan, Tokachi Super Speedway at Sarabetsu. This track, we just wanted to mention to you that it has seen past Super Taikyu events and has seen past events at the it has seen past events at, endurance racing. It has seen Super GT racing before the 2010s. So, Hololive's Dale Sr. Now, if I wanted to have the current most aggressive driver that we have at the moment, at least with the ones that I believe are the most aggressive at the moment, we're looking at Richie Rod, that's in Split B. He represents Shirakami Fubuki, as well as Gruffin Wheatley and Daniel Bauer. But let's not count out Hofumi either, because he's also going to be driving pretty aggressively. And actually, if you've seen the Connect the World Grand Prix stream last week, there was a lot of chaos. Everyone was very aggressive, and there was a lot of pileups. So we had to restart a few races and tell the drivers to basically ease off the whole aggression thing so that everyone can at least finish this race cleanly. There was already pit stops and there were already green flag racing. Well, clean green flag racing. So that's that. We're now at the halfway stage here. 125 kilometers of racing has been covered here at Tokachi. And Shazren is actually losing a lot of time there to Sergei Kayumov there. It was at 10.7 seconds, now dropped down to 9.8 seconds. Kayumov is on the hunt for the Plusmates' first win in Formula Hololive. Days of Thunder reference. About the Days of Thunder reference there. Well, if we want to talk about Talladega Nights there, we might see some two teammates wanting to cooperate within each other, and then they could probably say shake and bake as they try to shake and bake their rival opponent so that the team can finish at 1-2. But I don't know if this is going to happen in Formula Hololive here. Sorry, Kaimov having better care on those tires there than Shazren. Obviously, Kaimov having fresher tires than Shazren. Speaking of tires, let's take a look into the tire life here. Kaimov having 4 laps fresher tires than Shazren at the moment here. Really has the worst tires. That's after Gruff and Wheatley here. Let's look at the tires there and look at the absolute state of them. Look at the rear right. Look at the rear right. There's literally a gash on that rear right of the tire. That's gonna definitely affect performance. Oh, for all the NASCAR Cup Series fans out there, remember, road courses, at least for the start of the 2023 NASCAR Cup Series season, stages are abolished. So you'll get the full racing distance in one go. Well, I have watched some NASCAR Cup Series racing as well, and I feel like stage racing is a bit unnecessary at road courses. It might be necessary in the ovals, but not in this part, not in this road course. So yeah. Meanwhile, there's Gruff and Wheatley there having a pretty lonely race, 6 seconds behind Crystal Salomon. Speaking of the positions gained and lost, let's take a look at the progress chart. Salomon, a surprising loser in this race. He started way up in 3rd place. Had this race in the bag when it comes to finishing on the podium, but then messed up the strategy, and he's now down in 11th place, now chasing a spot inside the top 10. Nice to see NASCAR Cup Series fans in this live stream there, and also Hololive fans as well. It's gonna be very fun. It's gonna be a very fun watch to have in this series. Obviously, there's more racing to come tomorrow in Split B, so hopefully everyone's tuned into that as well. Karimov had pulled the gap back to Shazren Reza once again. Now the gap is now dropped down to 8.8 seconds. The Lapless Darkness driver wanting to show her prowess in this racing scene. And you can see here the tires are slowly starting to wear on that Lapless car. Look at the rear end. Look at the rear side of this tire, and it's looking very, very bad. And in terms of popular drivers, you might want to ask that question. Since some of you guys have been watching NASCAR Cup Series, I think everyone have been familiar of Dale Jr. and that has been Hendrick's most popular driver at the time before Chase Elliott has to take the reins. Well, in terms of the most popular car/driver in Formula Hololive, you're not seeing it in this race. You'll be seeing it in next race tomorrow in Split B. That's Hoshimachi Suisei's Daniel Barger, and right now he's also on a title hunt as well. He leads the Split B standings by a good margin as well, 257 over 222. If this was an ARCA series, or if this was an IndyCar event, you would be surprised. But hey, we'll get the next best thing. I mean, it's not an IndyCar, but at least it's a Super Formula car. And if the Super Formula cars are just as fast, if not faster, than the Indy cars. I did do a comparison between the two, and the Super Formula cars are literally just faster. I did the comparison, by the way. So anyways, here on lap 28 of the Tokachi Superprix, and right now Kaimov is still chasing Shazren Reza. And right now, looking into the lap cars' things, Olgor is currently at the last corner. He's currently at Victory Corner, the third final corner at turn 13. Here's a battle here that we want to talk about. Mendes and Hofumi. Mendes hanging around the outside, trying to get to a better exit off the outside line. But Fumi manages to defend. And there's another side-by-side battle between Turner and Salomon. Salomon is looking for an opportunity to get inside the top 10. Into SG corner and now into paddock band. Let's see if Salomon has a very good exit off of the final of paddock band, but then he gets squeezed off by Michael Turner there, as you can see. But he has the inside line coming into the hairpin curve. He will make the dive bomb down the inside. Oh, no contact just yet. Still clean racing between the two. Into the outside line of the corner here, and he manages to edge ahead of Michael Turner. Pass done by Crystal Salomon. He gets the ASCII car back inside the top 10. Still control this race, Shazren. Kayumov, although is catching up just a slight bit, but will it be enough for her? Kamina Riba is still consolidating her third place position. Kaczynski and Mikolev are also chasing that podium positions here. Kaczynski is now 10 seconds behind. Here it might be a battle between Mendes and Fumi, but Mendes is not close enough. Best qualifying in the extreme track, imagine. I mean, Scott Dixon in IndyCar, having the probably the best, if not the greatest IndyCar driver the racing series has ever seen, Indianapolis has ever seen. He may have won Indy 500 in 2008 and have struggled to win it since, but everywhere else he has shown that he has left a mark. Let's see if he can win 7 titles. If he can win 7 titles, then he'll definitely be in the conversation alongside, let's say, the greats of other motorsport drivers like Sebastian Loeb, Lewis Hamilton in Formula 1 and all that stuff. Maybe Dale Earnhardt, Jimmy Johnson, Richard Petty. So anyways, back in Formula Hololive here, Shazren Reservoir 139.733. Let's see what response does Kayumov have. 139.873, 1/10 of a second slower, so Kayumov is slowly losing touch to Shazren Reza. But right now the battle for 8th place is still rife, as the tires for all these cars are absolutely being tortured to oblivion. They're all trying to hang on at the moment. Wheatley having pitted the earliest out of those who have did their field calculations right. Just look at both of the tires. You can't tell me that both of these tires are currently being put in a torture chamber at the moment. 60% of this race has been concluded here. Wheatley slowly catching up to Michael Turner, who is catching up to Salomon, catching up to Mendes, who is catching up to Fumi. Let's go on board Fabio Mendes in the number 54 Hakui Koyori car. Croatia currently having a lonely race in 13th place for Takani Lui, as does Makoto Miyamoto. Actually, scratch that, they're not having a lonely race. Well, lonely race for these two drivers battling each other instead of the rest of the field, but yeah. Caleb Gibbons still in 15th place. He enters this round 175 points ahead of Shazren Reza, who is currently leading this race. 15th place only gives you 1 point, and first place gives you 200 points. And as it stands, Gibbo will now trail Shazren Reza by 24 points heading into the split season finale at Sepang, coming this August. Croatia racing with purpose, but will it be enough for him to basically manage to defend against Miyamoto in the next 20 laps? Saving people who suffers the most. Nice fun facts there, as we are looking at the guys who have lost a lot of positions there. Crystal Salomon being one of them, wanting to take this race back from the missed strategy. And right now he's getting very close there to Fabio Mendes, who's currently trying to defend against the number 12 ASCII car. Meanwhile, Ridley's having a lonely race in 6th place for Sakamata Chloe Bauer in this Mel car. Stuck in 7th place for the couple, currently the couple mean. One thing, a good result for the user Mel car. Danny Bauer's doing his best to put his car inside the top 5, but it's not coming just yet. Fumi's also having a pretty lonely race, but he is in a pretty decent position in 8th place, so that's a plus. Coming at Reba, actually catching up to Suri Kayama just a bit, and Kayama actually catching back up to Shazren once again. It's slowly coming into them, but we still have basically 19 laps to go in this race. So we still have all to play for in this race. But I think it's a bit too late for Kayama and Reba unless Shazren catches into lap cars. Olga's currently in this back straight. Shazren is currently at the paddock bend. So Shazren is gonna actually catch up to lap cars soon enough. John Meade, 17th place, trying to catch Juan Suarto in the Shiranui Flare car. 16th place on back will not award you points. So these guys are just racing for pride. And right now, Suarto trying to defend from Meade. Meade having that slipstream, having that draft. Will it be enough? Ah yes, single file racing. Sometimes it's good. Sometimes you have to appreciate the slow racing that we sometimes have in this world. Not every race has to be 4 wide, 5 wide on every single lap. Sometimes strategy racing can be just as intriguing as the crazy races that we have. Meanwhile, Kayamov is actually catching on to Shazren. Remember, Kayamov having 4 laps fresher tires than Shazren. Shazren is actually slowing down a bit more than usual. Look at the tires that he has at the moment. It's currently almost non-existent on the right sides. The gap's now dropped down to 7.4 seconds. Will Kayumov mount a charge against Shazren Reza into this final few laps? We'll have to wait and see. And this time Mendes has the inside line against Salomon after a long tow on the main straight, or the front stretch. Salomon trying to look into an opportunity against Fumi. Mendes is going to try to make the pass onto Fumi. Remember, Mendes having that low downforce setup and Fumi having that high downforce setup. And that actually pays dividends for Mendes to steal a position from Fumi. The Hakui Koyori ride is now coming alive here after a failed stint with Zeke Wimberly. This time, Fabio Mendes shows up for all the assistants to enjoy. And now onto the back straight, the back stretch, coming into the hairpin corner, which is actually the slowest corner in Tokachi, which really says something. The gaps drop down to 7 seconds between the leaders. We'll keep you guys updated as the race progresses, and at the same time, Riba is actually faster than the leading 2 drivers. So we have a battle between 3 drivers for the race win coming into the final laps. In terms of the Botan paint scheme, the Botan car will race tomorrow in Formula Hololive. And fear not, because the Botan car actually finished in a very good position. Last race at Autopolis. At Autopolis, the Botan car actually finished 6 out of 17 cars. Almost a top 5, So that is one thing that you should be excited for. And meanwhile, Salman is actually catching up to Fumi. Fumi's actually lost a good amount of pace there. Look at the gap Fabio Mendes have opened to compare to Fumi. 1.5 seconds. And this is the Gura paint scheme. We are looking to host the Formula Hololive International Series. We'll keep all of you updated on the Adak-RMS Twitter of the new schedule and how the new racing series will unfold. An announcement is scheduled for August, so please stand by for that. The race is on. 139.4 for Shazren Reza, 139.0 for Kayumov, 138.8 for Kaminari Riba. So watch out for the top three, as these top three drivers are going to be competing for the race wins. Well, there will be a Gura car, but in September. So you don't need to worry about that. We will have all members represented, at least on the Hololive side. On the Holostar side, it's too chaotic for me to properly pinpoint. Salman finally catching up into his fellow Gen 0 teammate here. Salman Fraski coming into the front stretch here. He has a really long straight here, nearly 1 kilometer in length. Will the slipstream be enough? He peels down the inside. No, it's not enough. Not ruthless enough on the corners here for Salman. 16 laps to go here in Tokachi and the Tokachi Superprix for Split A. The gaps have really closed down between Shazren and Sergei Kayumov. The race is definitely on. And looking into the pace difference there, the pace difference have been absolutely crazy. And if you want to know why, it's not because of lap cars, it's because the pace have suddenly come and gone for Shazren. Shazren is currently barreling down the main straight, about to start lap 36, 35 laps complete. 139.536, a lot of lap time lost for the young Malaysian. Sergei Kayumov, 139.025, 5/10 faster on that last lap. Meanwhile, Riba's faster than Kayumov by 0.2 of a second, faster than Shazren by 0.7. And it doesn't help that Olgor is the gap between him, Shazren Reza and Olgor are closing down rapidly. If Shazren Reza isn't able to clear those lap cars in time, Kayumov and Riba might have a chance to win this race. And with that, Gibbens will have a gap. Well, he will have a breathing space coming into the final race, because if Gibbens finish 15th in this race and Shazren Reza finishing second, Gibbens will have the championship lead on countback, because both of them will have a first place, both of them have second place finishes, but Gibbens will have a 15th place, and Shazren Reza will have no points. So it will still be a 1 point difference between the Count Gibbons, the potential championship leader, coming into the final round of Sepang. If Shazren Reza drops down to second place, well, I'll keep you updated here. Mid-Ohio equals Watkins Glen. I agree. You can see here we have this lush greens here and basically it's a medium speed high speed race style combined with a lot of straights. So it's more Watkins Glen than Mid-Ohio in my opinion. But both of them are pretty good. I've raced in both of these circuits before, and I can say that it's a pleasant drive experience for both rides basically. Speaking of which, don't buy NASCAR Heat 5's DLC. You're better off just finding a mod pack for it, I guess. Michael Turner now catching up to Fumi there. Salman now up to 9th place, looking to recover lost positions there. Will he be able to catch it to Fabio Mendes? We'll have to wait and see. wanted to give you guys a bit of an update on the gap between the leaders. The gap's now reduced to 5.5 seconds. The chance of Kayamov catching Shazren is getting slimmer and slimmer, but there is still a glimmer of hope for Kayamov to catch Shazren on what promises to be a thrilling last lap decider. The gap between Shazren and Rip Olgor are currently in 6 seconds. Shazren gaining on Olgor by maybe a second a lap. And Kayamov goes way faster actually. 138.8. So Kayamov is stealing a lot of lap time. It is not iRacing unfortunately, but it is Assetto Corsa. You can get this mod on the description below. The credits go to Shin956 for making this amazing track. Good quality on the appearance and the presentation, and the racing is also pretty good as evident here. Into the back straight goes Shazren trying to catch Rim Olgor and see if he can use the Laplace car as a pick. So Kayamov now, you can see the Laplace car in the background as Shazren comes into the hairpin corner. Later of this race, and now Turner finally makes a move against Fumi on the turn 1 and into turn 2. Fumi tries to attack, but he has lost a good amount of pace there. Is now under pressure from Griffin Wheatley and Robert Croatia. Makoto Miyamoto is about to show up as well. This may open the door for Calvin Gibbons to steal maybe another position to try to maintain his advantage coming into the final round, the split round at Sepang. 139.279 for Shazren, catching up to Rim Olgor by over a second. Kayamov goes way faster by 0.3 of a second. Riba goes 0.2 faster than Suri Kayamov. It's gonna be a massive battle for the top 3 spots coming into the final few laps of this race. We said that multiple times. This is gonna be very exciting. The gas now dropped down to 4 seconds. If there's any 5-second penalties that Shazren might have, I don't think he has at the moment, and he might not have, Kayamov might be able to take the race lead by virtue of added time. Olgor just entering the hairpin corner. Shazren have also just entered the hairpin corner. Shuba Luna on both ends of the timing table at the moment. Let's see how these two will go out on trying to trade blows. Will Olgor just concede and give Shazren an opening to basically have a guaranteed shot at winning this race? Or will he make Shazren's life difficult for Kayamov to catch up? Meanwhile, Fumi and Wheatley battling once again, going off over Robert Croatia. And you can see here Fumi actually putting up a good fight against Wheatley, but Wheatley manages to get a nose up front, and now Fumi keeps dropping down a few more positions there. We are just over 10 laps to go here in Tokachi for the Tokachi Superprix here in Split A. 145.83 for Olgor, 139.323 for Shazren, 138.841 for Kayamov. Kayamov's lap time is just 0.5 of a second faster, half a second faster than Shazren at the moment. Well, if you've seen the Autopolis race in Split B, the Botan car drives like Noah Gragson. Just about. You do your interpretations here. Meanwhile, Kayamov slowly but surely catching up here. And looking at Shazren, he is now getting very close, dangerously close to Olgor. Shazren might not have a bit of a hard time trying to get past Olgor. Remember, dirty air is definitely very apparent here, so passing can get very difficult at times, especially in these medium to high speed corners. So right now Shazren is going to try to find a strategy to get past Olgor as soon as possible and try to build a gap from it. Right now Kayamov is breathing down Shazren's gap like very crazy. Riba is not out of this yet as well. Remember, Riba has consistently been 2 seconds faster than Sergei Kayumov. And out of the guys inside the initial top 3, only Sergei Kayumov is there to stay. And will Kayumov persevere enough for her to steal the race win away from Shazren Reza? Shazren still has Rim Olgor to clear, and right now he's only just over a second faster than Olgor, and now with the dirty air that Olgor has at the moment, it's not going to give Shazren Reza a bit of breathing space. The gap between Kayumov and Shazren Reza is still closing down one by one. We're gonna see a very frantic racing action coming to the finish. Mead trying to catch Suharto. Mead's still there, trying to find a way past Suharto, and looking into the gaps here between Shazren and Olgor. It's getting very dangerously close between the two, and that means he will lose even more time against Sergei Kayumov. Here's Sergei Kayumov and Karinari Riba in the distance. Riba in the main straight here, slowly catching up to Kayumov here. Shazren Reza have now caught up to the back of Olgor, and this is gonna mean he's gonna lose a lot of times. Okay, JR Motorsport drivers. You wanna talk about fan favorites? Let's talk about it's gonna be pretty hard to tell which ones are gonna be the fan favorites. Maybe the Coronet car for Sean Pauli, journeyman driver. Very fun and creative on the racetrack, and outside of it, definitely a fun guy to be with. So that's a plus if you want to find some guys that you want to root for. So yeah, that's that. Anyways, Kayumov really closing the gap down to Shazren Reza here. Now Shazren Reza now being blocked by Olgor. Olgor's gonna go the aggressive way. He's not gonna give Shazren Reza the silver platter that he may or may not deserve. Shazren Reza is gonna try to be the first repeat Formula Hololive winner, but right now, at least in terms of actual points races, he did win 2 races for Luna, but one of them is an exhibition race, so that probably doesn't count. Kayumov slowly but surely catching up to Olgor. Shazren Reza's best chance to clear the lap car is currently at the front stretch. So Shazren into victory corner. He must not mess this up, and he must make the move right now if he wants to have the best shot of winning this race, having the best exit of the final corner, using the draft to good effect. Peeling to the inside, go Shazren Reza. Will Olgor put up a good fight? The answer may be yes, the answer may be no. It's 50-50, but 50-50 no more. Actually, it is still 50-50. Look at Olgor trying to defend his spot all he can. It's not enough for Olgor. The gap has now closed down to 1.6 seconds. And right now, Olgor still stays ahead. Riba have stated that he has shown a lot of pace and skill in the Formula cars relative to the GT cars, as reflected in the Hololive GT3 standings versus the Formula Hololive standings. Right now, Riba is gonna make a statement. He's gonna try to go for the win. Look at Shazren Reza. The gap between himself and third have completely evaporated, and now the gaps between first and third have now gone down to around 1.3 seconds. Will Olgo put up an even bigger fight to Shazren? Will Shazren manage to defend his... Will Shazren manage to defend his lead? Will he manage to have that 24-point gap to count Gibbens? We'll have to wait and see. Coming into lap 44, Olgor is on the verge of being put down one lap. He's gonna be a lap down if he's not careful. Shazren is getting very close there to Olgor. Shazren peels down the inside of turn 1. And Ryan Akayamov is still trying to play it clean and nicely here. And as you can see here, Shazren tries to race it cleanly down the inside. But will it be enough for him? Oh, shuffling Olgor wide. I think he has managed to clear him. And now look at Kaminari Riba actually managing to pip Katsuri Kayumov down the line. He's now up to second place. And now Shazren is able to use Olgor as a pick. Olgor is now a lap down. And it looks to me that Shazren might have this win secure. He might just have that 24-point cushion coming into the final split round at Sepang. Riba. Trying to find a way past the lap car of Olgor. He's faster than all the faster than Shazren. He's faster than Seri Kayumov. And right now Riba is gonna try to mount a charge once again. Riba is looking very feisty here as he's still stuck behind Olgor. There's not much space into the final two corners. The gaps between Shazren and Riba have opened at the 2 seconds. Will it be enough for Riba? Riba's gonna have an early look down the inside. On board with the number 46, Omar Polkakar. He might just be able to have a pretty decent clearance against the Subaru car. And the answer might just be yes. Riba is currently on Shazren's tail. Will he be able to catch up in this final 6 laps? Sadly, there is no blue flag rule in Assetto Corsa, so we have to do what we have to do. So, anyways, Riba trying to chase this race. Riba's looking for his first podium for Omar Polka. He's looking for his first win for Omar Polka. He's gonna try to win it for the Zain. He's gonna win it for Gen 5. Can he do so with only 5 laps to go? The gaps drop down to 1.7 seconds here. This will be a good indicator on where they have gained a lot of time. Looking into the sector times, Riba is actually faster than Shazren on the second sector by 0.2 of a second. So it's not lost on Riba to try to have that last lap pass on Shazren for the win. $139,179 for Shazren, $138,834 for Riba. Kayamon's gonna make a move down the inside against Rim Olgor to put Olgor a lap down on 3 cars. Riba's hunger is real. Riba's determination is absolutely fired up. As you can see here, the gaps really dropped down to 1.3 seconds. You can see here the pace difference between Riba and Shazren is very much apparent. You can see that Shazren have lost 0.3 of a second on that first sector alone. Riba have a realistic chance of winning this race. Can Riba seal the deal on this win here? If Shazren drops down to second, with Gibbens still staying in 15th, Gibbens will only be ahead of Shazren by 1 solitary point. So it's gonna be a very competitive split season decider coming into August. And right now, Riba is gonna really show up here. He's really ripping the racetrack here at the moment. He's gonna drop the gaps down to a second. But right now, the laps are ticking away. He only has 4 full laps to go to try to seal the deal and bring the win for Omar Polka and the Zain. Remember, the Omar Polka car have yet to win a race in the ARO. They have not won in Hololive GT3 in 2022, have yet to win in 2023. But right now, the one obstacle that remains between him and the win for Omar Polka and the Zain for the first time is Muhammad Shazren Reza. Gaps now drop down to 9/10 of a second. The hunger is real, as we mentioned earlier, and now Riba is slowly catching up. And as you can see here, really calm and consistent on the corners. You can see he's carrying a lot more minimum speed. Right now, the battle for the big dub here at Tokachi in the Tokachi Superprix Split A race. Riba have really closed down the gap here. It was 9/10 of a second coming into the start-finish line, starting lap 47, and coming into the back straight. It's now dropped down to less than 7/10 of a second. It's gonna be a massive battle into the final laps. Will it be Shazren Reza who will try to win another race for him and Mori Luna? That will mean 7 total across both series. Second in Formula Hololive. Will it be Kaminai Riba, who have just seen Omar Polka perform in the Twinkle for You concert yesterday and wanting to share that same performance level in this race? Final laps are getting crazy here, and right now Riba is definitely hot on the heels. We're about to go to 3 laps to go, and right now it's between these 2 drivers. The guys in 16 and 17, you don't need to mind about them. They're too far ahead. But right now, Riba is using the draft, the slipstream, to try to catch as much as possible. You can see the pace difference there. Over 4/10 of a second gained by Riba. He will have a realistic chance of stealing the race lead coming into lap 49, the penultimate lap of this race. And right now, Riba has a look into Shazren Reza's gearbox. He is determined to give Gen 5 the representation they so deserve. Shakib Reza have won for Momo Suzunene last June. Will Kaminai Riba do the same for Omar Polka for this month? That is assuming Shakib Reza, Kento Kai, or Alex Rand couldn't win the race tomorrow. But anyways, Riba have now closed down the gap to 4/10 of a second. We have another battle here between Daniel Bauer and Ri Liu. We're gonna cut to them for just a while here, as we're about to see Bauer managing to defend his position. Exiting out of Twins, coming into West End and Victory. Riba is looking for a victory himself. Right now, he have just over 2 laps to go to try to mount a proper charge. Coming into the fast chicane, final 2 corners. Get the best exit possible for Kaminai Riba. He is now hot on the heels, directly behind Shazren Reza's gearbox. Lap 49 of this race. You can see the gaps really closing down, but I don't think it will be enough. But if there's one thing that he will be taking, is that he will be very close to Shazren, and right now, all he needs to do is to get very close to Shazren Reza coming into the final lap of this race. It's either him, it's either Riba or Shazren Reza. It's either these 2 drivers coming for the win. It's either the driver representing the Princess of Candyland, or the circus member, or the circus lady, Fennec, whatever you want to call her. Anyways, Riba hot on the heels once again to Shazren Reza coming into the exit of Paddock Bend and coming into the back straight. Will Riba try to cash in on the opportunity? Right now the gaps drop down to 4/10 of a second. Shazren Reza is on full defense mode here, as you can see here. He's still maintaining his racing line. He's gonna try to defend as much as he can. Try to bring the Luna car to the championship lead in Split A. Will he be able to do so? onto the final few corners here on lap 49. We're about to start the final lap of this race here. Riba have dropped back just a bit. He just needs a good final 2 corners. He can't afford to lose a lot of time here. And as you can see here, he is actually gaining just a bit. But right now we have the final lap of this race here at Tokachi for the Tokachi Superprix. Here is split A. Will Riba diving down the inside? No! He's not close enough. Just as when the opportunity arises, Riba haven't taken it. He probably, I can see that he probably lifted onto the final 2 corners, not wanting to tempt track limits. But right now he should be happy nonetheless that he will have a 2nd place finish. That's the best finish for the Omar Polka car for any of the ARO series since the Buriram race at Hololive GT3 in May last year. Kamina Riba might just have a small sliver of a chance left, but will it be sufficient? Shazren is having a very good race. Aced the strategy once again on the overcut. I still wonder why none of the other drivers have taken the chance, just like Shazren. Meanwhile, Shazren controlling the race as he should. One lap to go, presented by Coco One Bank. I wish Kiryu Coco is still here to see this. I wish Kiryu Coco is still here in Hololive so that we can have another entry here. But that doesn't matter. For Shazren Reza, he's going to look to win for the 2nd time in 2 races after fending off a massive charge against Kayumov and Riba. After acing the strategy very well here, Shazren Reza is going to steal the championship elite weight from Callum Gibbens. He's going to take the win here at the Tokachi Superprix here in Split A. Sergei Kayumov consolidating 3rd place is a very good showing for a lot of these drivers. Rajiv Kaczynski showing up to finish 4th. Isakaji Mikolev coming in for his 2nd top 5 in 3 races. That puts him in the map to try to get himself in contention. Right now we have 2 confirmed title contenders for the Split A title, and that is Muhammad Shazren Reza and Callum Gibbons. And right now, what was supposed to be Callum Gibbons holding the aces by over 175 points, now it's going to be Shazren Reza holding the aces by over 24 points. Daniel Bauer will get 6th place. Louis Leo will have 7th place. And Fabio Mendes on his Formula Hololive debut, in his Adak-RMS organization debut, driving for Hakuei Koyuri, replacing Zeke Wimberly, he will score a top 10 finish for Koyuri and her assistants. So what could have been story for Christoph Salomon, who started 3rd place, was contending for the race lead until the pit stops occur, and he's now down in 9th place. Michael Turner in 10th place for Shogai Noel in 10th. Then we have Griffin Wheatley finishing 11th for Kazama Iroha. Another good showing for the Iroha car. Fumi finishes well for Tokunosora. Kurisha for Takanilu in 13th. Miyamoto 14th. And Callum Gibbons 15th. We have confirmation. The title fight will go down to the wire. Into Sepang next week. So yeah. With that out of the way, the race have finally come to a stop. Let's take a look into the final results. Shazren Reza taking a very commanding win for Himari Luna over Kamina Riba in 2nd place. He put up a good fight, but he'll take 2nd place regardless. It's the best result for the Polka and the Zain. Sergei Kayumov finishes on the podium for the 1st time for the Holux, representing Lapis Darkness. Rajiv Kaczynski for Yusuke Soko finishes 4th place. Iskaji Mikolev in 5th place for Sakura Miko. 2nd top 5 in 3 starts for the Ukrainian driver. Daniel Bauer in 6th place for Yozaramel 666. No pun intended. Ryu for Sakamoto Koloi finishes 7th. Apologies if you have the Japanese flag, it's actually supposed to be Malaysian. Fabio Mendes in his Formula Hololive debut finishes 8th for Hakuei Koyuri. Great job for him as well. Crystal Salmon, again, or what could have been for him. He finishes 9th for Aski. Michael Turner in 10th place for Shirogane Noel. Griffin Wheatley in 11th place for Kazama Iroha in 12th. So Tokino Sora's Hofumi in 12th place. Corey Wish at 13th for Takani Louis. Makoto Miyamoto 14th for Tsunamaki Watami. And Cal Gibbons in 15th place. He had the aces, but now he has work to do in the final race at Sepang. Bon Sarto in 16th place for Shiranui Flair. John Me 17th for Akai Hato. And Rim Olgorf, the only guy a lap down for Ozora Subaru. Just gonna need to save the replay as we are currently in intermission, as we are about to finish off this stream with the edited championship standings. Well, we won't share you the full graphics until we can get the proper calculations. But anyways, we'll have the full calculations right here. And we have confirmation that, excuse me, in order for you to be able to properly challenge for the title, you need to be 200 points or below to the championship leader. And looking at the standings here, it looks pretty good here for Shazren Reza. 400 points over 376. We didn't mention, you'll have a 24-point gap over Callum Gibbons. Kamina Riba is also going to be into the championship hunt, coming into the final race at Sepang. He is only 337 points. That means he's only about 63 points behind Shazren Reza. Ri Liu, 130 points behind Shazren Reza in 4th for Sakamata Chloe. Daniel Bauer for Yozora Mel will be competing for the title as well. He will need to find 159 points. Will he be able to do so? We'll have to wait and see. Raj Kaczynski will be the last of the title contenders with 234 points in the Yuzuki Choco car. And the first guys out of title contention, Rim Olgor, so after having a bright start of the season for their predecessors, it has not gone to plan for the replacement drivers. They tried their best, but it just wasn't forthcoming. Suri Kayamov and Michael Turner see their fortunes go up, especially for Suri Kayamov, she is now inside the top 10. And then we have Isekai Jin Mikolev, Hofumi. The 2022 series, Japan Series champion, will not be competing for the Split A title. The next race at Sepang. Crystal Salaman falling off again from 12th to 13th. As you can see here, John Mead and Fabio Mendes, 14th and 15th. No, Honda's not the only manufacturer. The chassis are provided by Dallara, and the engines are powered by either Honda or Toyota. We'll show you this later into the next stream. Anyways, Robert Kurisha, Griffin Wheatley, and finally for Makoto Miyamoto, she finally opens up her points tally with only 4 points. But anyways, we have the next race in Sepang for the final race of the split season of Formula Hololive for Split A coming in August. But first, we'll have the Split B race at Tokachi tomorrow at 1 a.m. Eastern Daylight Savings Time. At 2 p.m. JST, we hope everyone will be able to tune into this to basically tomorrow's stream. We hope everyone has enjoyed the stream here at Tokachi Speedway for the Split A race. I'm Mama Shazren Reza in the commentary booth, and you've been watching the Tokachi Superprix Split A race for the 2023 Formula Hololive Japan season.